Hey everyone, I got something to say. This is a video directed at Adult Swim. Now before I even start this video, I do want to make a couple notes here. One, I'm not making this video just to make controversy for the sake of controversy and for views and subs and money and everything like that. So this video is not going to be monetized, it's not going to have any metadata on it or anything like that. This is a direct message to Adult Swim that's calling them out on some really crappy behavior that they exhibited today. And I just wanted to tell you guys about it so that maybe someone at Adult Swim will see this and maybe consider the way that they treat their audience from now on. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. So for those of you who don't know, Adult Swim does these developmental meetings every week where they listen to people's pitches on a live stream. So anyone can call in and they take pitches and they basically listen to it and they kind of give feedback on it. Now the purpose of this stream does seem to be to find concepts that they want to purchase for production, or at least make pilots of them. But really the purpose seems to be just sort of laughing at people and their dumb ideas, kind of, or their weird ideas and things like that. So I decided to attend one of these developmental meetings last week because from what I had seen, I wanted to pitch them an idea. I figured that it was a legitimate place to pitch ideas. Because why would it not be? You know, this is a place for ideas to come out. So I did manage to get through to them and I pitched them my idea, and they did seem to like it, although I do admit that it probably is not appropriate for Adult Swim. It's more of a young adult concept than an adult concept, per se. So that's fine. This video is not at all related to the pitch that I submitted. That is not why I'm upset. So I was waiting for feedback on it and I didn't hear anything, so I decided to attend this week's stream to see if maybe they'd give feedback, because on the previous week's stream that is what they did. They gave feedback on the week before that one's pitches, so I figured this would be a good way to hear some feedback. So I tuned into the stream and I watched the entire thing. Now, it wasn't that it was a bad stream necessarily, I just think that some of the behavior of the hosts was really disrespectful and extremely inappropriate. So basically, the concept that was being pitched at the time where I started to get frustrated was a very silly concept about foot fetishes, which is, it's not really something to be taken seriously. Even if the person who was pitching it took it seriously, it didn't really seem appropriate to be pitching, because I figured that this was a serious place where people could get their concepts evaluated. Similar to what I do with my studio, where I take time to hear people's pitches and offer feedback as to how they can improve it. That is not the case here. This is basically taking people's ideas and turning them into kind of a three-ring circus, a bit of a shit show, to be honest. So I, and along with everyone else watching the stream, sat through this whole foot fetish thing. Now, it wasn't so much the idea that frustrated me, because, you know, people, they have their ideas, that's fine. What frustrated me was the attitude and behavior of the hosts of the stream, where they were indulging the foolishness of this pitch by basically saying, oh, how much do you want for it? $1 million. And I get the comedy behind the situation. I do realize that the focus of this stream is comedy, and that's not what I'm complaining about. What I'm complaining about is that these are people who have the time and the power and the influence to really get things made. They listen to people's pitches, and they can offer feedback that can be helpful for people in the future to get them made. People struggle for years to have their concepts heard by someone who is in a high enough position to really have some sort of influence. And what do they choose to do with this time and power and money and just the influence that they have? They screw around, basically. They take people's concepts and they basically just use them for comedy. So as someone who takes their aspirations of wanting to get their concept made very seriously, I just found this whole practice to be very insulting, almost, very unprofessional. So when I got frustrated, I started calling them out in the chat by basically explaining, not rudely, very politely explaining, that it was very foolish of them to use their time and money and power in this way. Because if they already have the time set aside to listen to people's pitches, don't you think maybe they could take this a little bit more seriously and offer constructive criticism instead of just taking the weird and strange and clearly not marketable ideas and just indulging them? Anyway, so when I called them out on this and I gave my opinion in the chat, obviously I didn't expect it to go over well in the chat itself, because the chat was just full of, well, you know, chat people, let's just say. I'm not going to go into that. Rude people who don't like when the people that they're watching are being insulted. So I did expect that. What I didn't expect was for the hosts of the show to directly call me out and tell me by name, not only to fuck off, but to also ignore me. So they saw my complaint about how they were running their stream, about how maybe they could handle themselves with a little bit more professionalism instead of indulging these strange ideas by telling them, oh, we'll buy it for $1 million. Instead of doing that, they took my complaint, told me I was being salty, told me to fuck off, and told everyone to ignore me. So that is why I'm frustrated. It has nothing to do with the fact that they didn't listen to my pitch, or they didn't take my pitch, they didn't give me feedback or anything like that. This is the reason I'm upset, is that through all of their influence and all of their time and power, as soon as they see something that's a dissenting opinion and that maybe this practice is foolish, they immediately command everyone watching to ignore me and to go against me. Now, it is my opinion, but the thing that frustrates me is that people, they struggle so hard to get their concepts heard. Even if they're not good concepts, it doesn't mean that they aren't worth hearing. I believe in this, and that's why I do pitches through my studio. Not for any profit gain, just to help people get their ideas more polished up so that they can pitch them to people who have the influence and power to develop them in the future. That's the reason why I do this, because I personally believe that no idea is a bad idea. So what I'm calling out isn't the fact that they indulge this stupidness so much, it's more the fact that their attitude towards it is extremely unprofessional. Now, I know that Adult Swim specializes in content that's black humor, adult humor, obviously. What I never would have expected is that they run their company with that same attitude, that same blasé attitude where just anyone who has a dissenting opinion, anyone who looks negatively upon them is instantly wrong, and they should be shunned, and they should be hated for it, basically. So in their eyes, because I have problems with the way that they use their time and money and influence and power, I am immediately labeled a salty bitch, and I should fuck off and never come back. Now, I've basically blown my chance with Adult Swim to ever pursue anything with them, because I can't see them in the same way. I love Adult Swim. I love their content for the most part. I've always had a high amount of respect for them, but if Adult Swim runs their company with the same level of professionalism that they showed on the live stream today, then I am sad for anyone who works there, to be honest. Because so many people have so many good ideas, and all they want is for someone to listen to them. And if they're treated this way, if they see that this is the way they can be treated by those in a higher station than them, then they might never want to pitch their idea again. And that's terrifying to me, because it's sort of like cockroaches, basically. If you see one person doing this, there's probably 100 more you're not seeing doing this. And it's so difficult to be heard, especially in the animation industry, where there are thousands, if not tens of thousands, of good ideas that just go unheard, because it's not fun to be professional. It's not fun to be serious. So, yes, I admit, I am upset by this behavior, but not because I didn't get my pitch purchased or anything like that. It has nothing to do with me. It's the attitude that was presented that I have an issue with, and when I brought up these issues, they directly insulted me and basically told everyone to just ignore me. If they hadn't done that, if they had not called me out by name in the chat, I would not have felt compelled enough to make this video. But that is why I'm frustrated. So, if anyone from Adult Swim actually does watch this, which I sincerely doubt, but if they do, maybe consider the feelings of the people who pitch. Some people, they get up the courage and the bravery to pitch their idea to you, and if you're going to treat it as just some sort of comedy act, or you're going to treat it as if it's nothing to you, it's something to just laugh at, and if someone calls you out for that behavior, and you're just going to be a child about it and be super immature, then you might want to reconsider that. Don't run your business like you would one of your shows. Okay? Now, this doesn't mean I have a particular beef with Adult Swim. I still love your channel. I still love your content and everything like that. I'm not judging the entire company based on this one experience. I'm saying is that if you run your whole company with the attitude that I witnessed today, then that is really upsetting. So maybe consider that next time you decide to dump all over a potential content creator. There's a lot of us out there who are really trying extremely hard to get their voices heard. And we don't really appreciate being slapped in the face like that. So, like I said, this video is not monetized. It has no tags. It is not for any particular reason to stir controversy. I'm just telling you what happened and why I'm upset. So thank you for listening, everyone. I appreciate it. Comments and ratings are turned on If you want to say what you think, I'm sure I'm gonna get lots of negative votes and lost subs and shitty comments and, you know, things like that. It's fine with me. I knew they weren't going to listen to me on social media. I knew they weren't going to listen to me on their forums or anything like that. So this is the only place where I could really make my voice heard. And I'm okay with that, I guess. It's fine with me. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you later.